What's going on, folks, and welcome to another one of my creature design and world building videos for my series known as Kulgurath. As a lover of all things monsters, Halloween has always been my favorite holiday and time of the year, so of course we gotta crank out some stuff inspired by the spooky season. So to start off, we're sketching up a vampiric demon lord. Since last year's Halloween themed video had a werewolf, I felt like it only made sense to get some vampire representation in this one, since they're one of the most iconic monsters in history and some of my personal faves. But this dude you see me working on here isn't just any old normal vampire, but rather the progenitor of all vampirism in the world. Now, demons are not native to the world of Kulgurath, but instead they are invaders from the realm of Deimos. And while not all of those that have crossed over into this world are necessarily evil or looking to conquer the world, demons do tend to be much more naturally hostile and insidious than many of the other races. This character here is one of the more powerful demons who have made their way into Kulgurath, and upon his arrival he introduced vampirism, which is basically a deadly shadow-based elemental magic known as blood magic, which is the ability to gain power or energy through the absorption of an enemy's life essence. Throughout the centuries, he has indoctrinated many souls into this vampiric collective, delivering them powers beyond their comprehension. But as you all out there may have guessed, there is a cost that comes with these gifts. As with everything in life, there is a balance, a give and take. And if one succumbs to the temptations of possessing this great power, they will be subjugated to an eternal battle of needing to drain more and more life essence from victims in order to satiate their hunger and maintain their abilities. This works like a snowball effect, where the amount of blood you drain from a foe the first time will no longer be enough to quell your thirst, so the next time you must drain more and more and more, basically making you the equivalent of a little junky crackhead, and eventually you lose what's left of your humanity altogether and you become nothing more than a bloodthirsty beast. And while there are many who are loyal servants to this great demon lord here, there are also those who have gone down the path to gain these vampiric abilities and powers in order to try and destroy him and cleanse the world of his dark magics. I do have some more lore stuff, regarding this, which I'll definitely plan on discussing in a future video down the line. Now, I've yet to settle on a name for this dude, so let me hear some ideas down in the comments below. I'm really picky when it comes to settling on a name. I always try to make sure the way a name sounds or rolls off the tongue contributes to the overall vibes of the character and how it fits them. One of the references or inspirations that played a part in his design actually is the Undying King from the game Remnant.
I have heard of that one, though he never sought an audience with me.
And everything about that character just does it for me. His whole demeanor and his aura and the way he speaks is very much how I envision the personality of this demon lord. Wise, stoic, reserved, kind of sees himself as above everyone else, as if they're just weak, simple-minded beings in need of his blessings and gifts to evolve from their primitive selves. I was going to come up with some sort of clothing or armor to put on him, but I didn't feel like drawing that at the time, so you just got to accept the butt-ass naked version on display for now. And I included a second image here with some little more bits of flavor text for y'all as well. And now let's move on to the next monster design for today's video. Now on this one, we're doing a little change up from a more horror-inspired creature to something a little more fun and campy. Another well-known creature from folklore, the Goblin. When it comes to some of the races or creatures in Kulgurath, I like having some of their designs stay true to some of the more traditional interpretations, but with goblins, I decided to stray a little bit from that well-known big pointy nose with a more human-like body structure, and instead I combined some traits from animals like frogs and rabbits. These goblins are mischievous little critters, known for their love of pranks and trickery, and of course their obsession with shiny treasures. In terms of intelligence, they're kind of like in between that of, let's say, like an animal and a human. They have their own little primitive language, which sounds like a bunch of like gargling, like, you know, all that kind of shit. But don't have like the brain power to fully learn and speak other languages. You'll see when designing the goblin that I did a few different subspecies, just because I wanted to play around with different color palettes and slight adjustments in appearance. As I was drawing, I started visualizing different scenarios in my head of how these little dudes like act and operate, and one of which was like this scene of like a little gang of goblins who pull tricks on innocent travelers going down like, you know, some dirt road or like cobblestone path between villages on a carriage. And like one of these little goblins jumps out in front of the horse and screams out, pretending to get ran over. And as the unsuspecting traveler like hops down to check on the goblin to try and help, a couple of the other, you know, little goblins come from behind and start looting the carriage, and they run off with the goodies. And like as they get away, then like, you know, the goblin who's playing dead, you know, he's got his tongue just hanging out. He like opens one eye to check that they've made it off, and then he just kind of, you know, just gets up like nothing happened, and then like, you know, just whistles and like prances off into the woods, leaving like the traveler confused as fuck as like what the hell just happened. You know, like Ocean's 11 got nothing on these master heisters, let me tell you. I had a lot of fun drawing these little homies, so I hope y'all like them. You know, they'd probably make some cool plushies or something. Maybe later down the line, as I continue to grow and expand upon my IP here, I could branch off and start making some things like that for Kulgurath instead of just doing 2D art-related content. Who knows? But yeah, here's the completed concepts for the goblins. And now let's take a stroll on over to the graveyard to check out the final creature of today's video. Now this one here went through a few different iterations. My idea at first was just to design some sort of stegosaurus, like tortoise mix of a creature that had gravestones on its back in place of the dorsal plates. It was going to be an animal that would just like dig beneath the surface within places like a graveyard, with its back disguised as random gravestones, and it could either feast on the corpses of the recently laid to rest, or maybe it could be like an ambush predator waiting in on like grieving, unsuspecting victims who come visit a deceased loved one. I sketched these up on my live stream here on the channel actually, and during one stream I came up with the first iteration, and then off stream I decided to change it up to more of like a Souls boss type of creature, where we lean fully into the undead horror aspect some more. And after I did like the two different concepts, we conducted a poll here on the channel to see what folks decided the final direction would be, and the vast majority chose the undead horror monster theme. So we still had to keep the main staple of the design, which is like the gravestone dorsal plates, and I wanted its body to have this sort of like twisted, pitch black, almost like otherworldly look to it, with a bunch of like skulls implanted or like embedded into its body randomly throughout the design, like fully leaning into the idea of it being this undead abomination raised forth from the graves by a powerful necromancer, where it's a bunch of different corpses fused into one mega beast, a death golem, if you will. And it can grow more and more powerful by devouring and absorbing the dead. I figured we could name this undead elemental the Grave Lord, and as such I designed its skull to have a crown of bones. Oh yeah, and I forgot that it's the Stegosaurus tail spikes are meant to kind of look like a rib cage, which was an idea that one of the members in chat came up with when I was sketching on stream. Good job, chat. I think this is the first official zombie creature I've designed for the world of Kulgurath. Or I might have done one more, I just don't think I made a video of it, but I definitely want to do some more undead type monsters in the future. There's just too many damn things to draw, let me tell you, it's crazy. I mean, it just never ends. But here's the completed concept art for the necrotic Gravelord. Let me know what y'all think about this friendly looking fellow in the comments down below. Do me a solid, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you like the video and you want to see more. And for any newcomers, go check out my official Kulgurath bestiary over on Amazon if you want to get your hands on my art book to see more than 60 different creatures that I've designed for the world of Kulgurath. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.